Okay. Um, so I've got like four ideas, but I'm gonna start kind of with just a couple ideas where there's only like one question, and
Okay.
then I think I know what I'm gonna do. So we'll
Oh,
dive into actual questions on that. I just want to get feelers for the other stuff.
all right, cool.
Um, okay. So have you ever worked at like a late night diner or as a waitress?
My mom actually owns a restaurant,
Nice.
so as probably starting since I was like 9, I've always been out at the restaurant. Starting since I was 12, I've actually started waiting tables and stuff. So I have a lot of experience as a waitress. So
Is it interesting? Is there a lot of good stories, or is it just
I
kind of mundane?
I actually love it because you get to meet so many new people every day, and then you get to like so many interesting characters, with their like weird habits. Plus, you get to see the dynamics between like people working in the kitchens and like
Yeah.
the people in the front. And then there's also those like people that come in every day and they have like their routines and they know exactly what they want to eat, and it's just like friendships form. And I don't know, it's really fun.
What kind of restaurant was it?
It's a Chinese and Vietnamese restaurant in
Very
Chicago.
cool. Very cool. What's it called?
Dongky. It sounds like donkey, but I don't know why my mom chose that name. It means something in Vietnamese, but
What
to
does it
American.
mean?
It means something like abundant crowds or something like that, like busyness or
Okay.
something like that.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Wow, it's hard to hear you. I just blanked out of it. Okay, that's cool. And were there like a lot of big challenges that you had to come up, or did it help you develop as a person because of those?
I feel like it really helped me develop as a person because you're meeting so many people all the time. You develop like communication skills for sure. You also develop patience and like being able to just like deal with a lot of responsibilities at a time. Plus, like your memory has to be really sharp. When people are shouting random things at you while you're walking around. And there's also complications. Like children are
Yeah.
really annoying when they come to restaurants. Especially like they'll throw things. They're really messy eaters. I guess that also taught me how to like clean really well and like carry things all. I don't know. That's like a skill I brag about. It's like I can carry a lot at once, but it also teaches you how to deal with like tough times, because when customers have like complaints and stuff, you have to think on your feet and like know how to like satisfy their needs and stuff.
Cool, cool. So, like, do you have like a system to help you like deal with all this stuff? Like, whether it's carrying all the stuff or remembering everything, or is it just
Not really.
remember it?
Like our restaurant is very like informal. It's not like it's pretty small size, so we don't really have like policies and like a like a book of like what you do. So everything is just like learn as you go. And yeah, my mom's a really friendly person, and she just opened a restaurant. And her technique for dealing with problems is just like smile, be really nice, give them free food if they're angry. So that's what you have to do.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Okay, so I will switch gears now, since you knew too much about that, and we could spend the whole time, and I want to get a couple more of these.
Okay.
Okay, so I also had an idea, and this one is so much vastly less interesting than what we were just talking about. But about like studying people who like work in labs, like as students, either
Okay.
as like researchers or just as like assistants.
Okay.
Do you know anything about that?
See, as a business major, I try to stay far, far away from science. Like, I cannot stand science. But I knew a person who was like a chemistry assistant or researcher or something. And all I knew was that he was in lab all the time. And he would explain like whatever he was studying to me. And it's just like nonsense to me.
Okay. So it doesn't really interest you. It's just kind of
No.
like, okay. I can totally see that. 'Cause I'm in the same vein.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to see them like working with their stuff, but like then they start talking about it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's cool, like what they're doing, but I don't care what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about this one? Have you ever been to the dairy farm?
No.
Do you know what the dairy farm
No,
is?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so brief background. Our school has a dairy farm. It's on Lincoln, before Windsor, but
Okay.
after Florida, like
Oh,
in between
okay.
there. And they actually have a whole bunch of cows that they milk.
Okay.
And all of their milk goes to like one of the area places, and then some of it appears back in like the residence halls and stuff like that.
Oh,
Like pretty cool, right?
that is cool.
So would you be interested in something about the dairy farm?
I would actually, because I heard about like how our school has a slaughterhouse too, and how you can buy like really cheap meat from
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's
So-
that's over there too. That's back there.
So it would be because like I feel that a lot of people don't know about it.
Mhm.
And it's always cool discovering stuff about your campus. It's like really.
Yeah. So what would you want to know about in like something about the dairy farm?
I mean, probably the process of it, like actually seeing the cows get milked and like talking to them about how, like what they do. Yeah, just everything pretty much.
So would it be interesting to go not just into the milking angle, but also into like the raising the cows angle and how they keep like and what they do with the cows, like, their whole lifespan, or what else?
I feel like that would definitely be interesting, like how they raise the cows, and you could also touch on the topics of like organic and stuff, like oh, what do you feed your cows? Like, I don't. And then what do you do with the, even like what happens after? Like, what do you do with the cows when they get too old? You know, like, do you sell them to a slaughterhouse? Like, how's everything on the campus connected? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So out of those three, which ones are the most interesting for you?
I would say, well,
You can give me like your top two.
top two.
Which really.
I would say the dairy
Hmm.
farm and the waitressing.
Those are my top two.
Yeah.
All right. So I think I have a little bit of time. I do. I totally do. All right. So favorite story from waitressing.
Favorite story? Oh, okay. There were these. My favorite story. There was this like family, and the mom had about like 3 kids with her, and it was just her and her 3 kids, and she was so stressed out because none of them were eating, and they were all being really loud and annoying. And she, as I was walking by, she's like, "Come here for a minute." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Can you please sit at my table and like eat some of the food with us?" I was like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Oh, just pretend that this food is so amazing, just like so my kids can like follow you because you're young and they'll like want to do what you do." And I was like, okay. So I sat down with her and she gave me a bowl of rice, and she's like, "Here, just start eating." And I'm looking at her kids, I'm like, "This is delicious, you should try some." And the kids are like, "Okay." And I managed to get them to eat, and at the end, not only was it that I helped her, but also like she gave me a really like big tip at the end, so it was nice.
Nice. That's cool. What's the worst thing that happened? If that was like one of the better moments, what was one of the worst?
Oh my gosh, the worst is when people come in and they're already having a bad day, and they just take it out on you. So if I forget to bring them a cup of ice, they just like have a fit over it, and they'll like verbally abuse you.
Do people really like?
Yeah, they do. They yell at you, and like they treat you like you're not humans. Like when they want their checks, I hate when people snap their fingers at me. Like, I'm not a dog. Like, but when people get really angry, that's probably the
So since it's kind of like a family business, would you ever consider either taking over or owning your own?
My mom always jokes around about as soon as I finish college, she's going to give me the restaurant. But there's a lot of history behind it because we've had it for about probably like 11 years now. So my mom's been able to build a lot of connections and like relationships. So I would feel uncomfortable taking it from her because I feel like I didn't build those relationships. So I would rather have my own. Probably not a restaurant because I can't cook well. So, but I do want to open up like a small business in the future.
Nice. What kind of business?
A daycare.
A daycare? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and the kids.
I love
seems
kids. Yeah. See.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yay.
Oh, that's pretty close to
Almost
10
10
minutes.
minutes.